Good evening. Welcome to the AGUA Special Utility District regular called meeting, June 2nd, 2025. It is 6:04. I'm call to order. Roll call. Mr. Roel de Hoyos. Present. Mr. Gerardo Perez.
Present.
Mr. Ricardo Perez.
Here.
Ana Maria Perez. Absent. Dr. Adela Villarreal. Absent. Jose Luis Ochoa. Present. Okay. B, invocation.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today to conduct matters of business for AGUA, may you give us your guidance, wisdom, and knowledge to make the best decisions for the ratepayers and employees. Lord, let this meeting be productive and let your peace surround us. Today we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Okay. D, public comments.
Yes, sir, Mr. President and members of the board, we do not have anyone sign up for public comments.
Okay.
You wanna? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
You may.
I've never done this before.
Oh, okay. Sir, you can go.
If you'll go over to the mic,
To the mic,
just so for the record, we've got.
My name is Valinda Lanes Estrada. This is my husband, Faustino Estrada. We've had, basically we're here because we have an issue with the sewer system at our house. Our septic is backing up, right? And they never connected the I don't know if it's called phase 2 or whatever it's called. So we're here because we are one of the ones that were left out of phase 2 of the Palmview sewer project because they could not find our septic tanks, or so we were told. Now we are being told that that was not the case. Rather, they skipped our house because it had too much concrete. Every time we spoke to them, they told us that it was due to them not being able to find the septic, and that their next move was going to be bringing an underground sonar device to be able to locate it. They were going to go around the back trying to see if they could find the septic. They never returned, and they never returned. The rest of our neighborhood was finished. Now that we are having problems with our sewer, and it is backing up into our toilets, sinks, and showers, we have been getting the runaround as to how we are to proceed. We were told that it would take finding 3 certified plumbers, certified in the City of Palmview, to submit quotes, and they would begin the connection to the sewer system. We were desperate to find a certified plumber that is certified in the City of Palmview and request a quote, which we did. Because let's get real, nobody wants anything backing up into their house where we can't even use our own toilets or showers. Thank God my mother-in-law lives right behind my house, walking through our backyard My mother-in-law's house is right there, so, thank God for that. AGUA said, told us that they would find the other two quotes, which has not happened yet. We found a quote in one day and got the quote the following day, and we turned it in. Yet here we are, still waiting. We pay taxes every year on time, and this is unacceptable. That's pretty much what I have.
When were you told, ma'am, that you were gonna?
Can you state your address or?
1503 North Mockingbird Lane. It's on 38 Ebony Hollow. Lot 38 of Ebony Hollow. 1503 North Mockingbird Lane.
And when did you ask, ma'am, for those other two quotes? Or who told you about those other two quotes?
Tabitha.
Tabitha?
Yeah, I've been communicating with Tabitha. It's been over a month. Yeah, and
Well, we're sorry for what you're going through.
Thank
first
you.
of all.
Thank you.
But we'll find some.
Yeah, 'cause I mean it's tough not being able
is.
to use stuff at your own home. Yeah. So that's basically what we came to talk about.
Thank you.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Item number 2, General Manager's Report. April financials.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, of course, here with us, we have Mr. Parth Naik, financial consultant, that will summarize the April financials.
Good afternoon, board, and we are gonna be presenting the April financial, which is like a 1/3 year in already, and we can look first our statement of net positions, which we see our cash and cash equivalent on hand is 1.3 million, and then we have our restricted asset, district capital asset, that's the fixed asset we have, and then we have our current liabilities, which of course include our long-term debts of 2.5 million as well, and the restricted other liabilities such as the due to the government and on revenue and interest from our debt. And more primarily, I do want to go and focus on statement of revenue, expense, and change in net position. This is like a 1/3 of the year, and as you see, our operating revenue in a total is 32%, which is a 1% shy of our budgeted forecast of 33%. We hope it's gonna meet the forecast because June and July are usually historically our most consumption months. And then our operating expense is at 31%, which is 2% shy of 33%. So we are almost on a ballpark in our financials. If you have any specific questions.
On liabilities, can you spread them out instead of just do one whole number on page 2? Instead of the long-term debt, I know you put a number, can you spread them out or not?
Yeah, you want the breakdown of the
Yeah.
2.5 million? Yes, I can provide you. You want to see which debt is for which loans?
No, the 41,
Uh,
the 41 million.
oh, okay. I can spread that. I can provide
The long-term,
the long-term debt. Okay.
21 million.
Yeah, we can provide that the breakdown of each individual one that we own. We have roughly like top of my mind the Chase Bond 2020. Then we have the TWDB 2014 bond 2014A. Then one of them is loan forgiveness, so we're not paying that. And the 2015 bond, we are still paying that. And then 2019 Chase bond, and then the another one is a refinance of our USDA loans that we got in 90s, but we found a better interest rate, so we refinanced them in 2021. So that's why we have two different one with the Chase.
And the 2.5, what is that? That's money we owe money?
That's the money that we have to pay this year. It's the current
Right.
current portion
Okay.
of the total, and
Okay,
that
yes.
long term is the total outstanding debt
Right.
as a
Okay.
whole.
Sure,
Any other questions?
thank you.
No. Okay, moving on. B, Drought Contingency Plan.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, as we do on every board meeting, we go over the Amistad and Falcon Reservoir percentages, levels. So, as far as Amistad, reservoir level, and it's on the attachment, it's a handout, item 2B. As far as the Amistad Reservoir, as of today, we're at 28, or Amistad Reservoir levels are at 28.5, full.
Hey, Robert, if I can have you stop for a moment. Just wanted, for the time, if you want to recognize.
Yes, Ms. Ana Maria Perez joined at 6:14.
Miss Perez.
Oh, this mouse does not like this connection. Hit the button. There we go.
Okay, so as far as Amistad Reservoir levels, we're at 28.5 full. And we can see on our historical data, a year from today, Amistad Reservoir levels was at 26.7, which of course has an increase of approximately 1.3% on that. As far as Falcon Reservoir levels, we're at 14.8. As of today, a year ago, Falcon Reservoir level was at 9.7. So it had an increase of approximately 5%. As far as the average, we're looking at 21.65, which is still above the 20% threshold that we have, and for now 18, as we change it for stage 4. So the reservoir levels, as of today, they're not in the best shape, but they're in good shape since a year.
This was at the end of April, May, I'm sorry,
This was as of today.
today.
This data is
As of today.
as of today, yes. So that's what I have for the draft contingency,
Okay,
Mr. President.
moving on to district's operation update.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, just to inform, the board that, we will be having a meeting, with the Texas Water Development Board, here on the 26th in Austin. And basically this is for the, planning, acquisition and design funds that hopefully will be awarded at that meeting. We're looking at $6,060,000. And, as far as the construction portion, of the loan with loan forgiveness, that will be approximately, in August, September, as far as, hopefully an award at that time. And of course, we'll visit with the Water Development Board on that. Also, the emergency water connect with the City of Mission, of course, that was executed, completed. And also just to let the board, know that, we received the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, and this is for the 2024 budget year. And this is through the Government Finance Officers Association. So we just received that, this past month, as a news release. So I just want to congratulate the Finance Department, of course, Parth, Liliana Gonzalez, and Carla Garza for keeping up with the finance, processes.
Good job.
Great job.
Congratulations.
So that's what I have, Mr. President, for district operations update.
All right, thank you. Item number 3, district engineers report. A, NatBag technical assistant agreement, sewer hookups.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, we have Mr. Chris, with SAMS, with SAMS in here, that will go over the engineer's report.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the board. So going into the NatBank Technical Assistance Agreement sewer hookup project, main progress was the Morro has acknowledged that they let us know that they finished punch list. We let them know that there's still some outstanding items on our end from what we've seen, and we're going through the report that the City of Palmview provided regarding the status or condition of the streets that were finished, and we're going through that back and forth with Morro right now. Ideally would be finishing this month, and everything should be looking good.
Okay.
Any questions?
No question. Obviously, we can't deliberate, or make any decisions on public comments, but just for information purposes, was the public comment, is that part of this?
No.
Okay,
So that was
fully
part of-
separate.
Yes, fully separate. I think that was part of phase 1. streets that we focused on in phase 2 were Dasa Circle, San Francisco Street, 3rd Lane, and Acevedo Lane.
Okay, so that's phase 1.
Correct.
Okay.
I believe that's phase 1. I don't know the streets for sure off the back of my head for phase 1, but I know they're not part of phase 2.
Okay.
On those meters that says, no house on property, are you leaving the tap there?
Let me see. On which page, sir?
The page, it doesn't have a number.
Let me see. For Acevedo Lane?
There's 4.
Alright.
I can see 4.
On the spreadsheet, DNA?
Yeah, on the spreadsheet. Okay. Yes. So based off of, Luis, there was no connections there, correct?
Sorry?
There's no connections left for those houses, or there was?
I believe they had, just initial,
The cleanup.
cleanup,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, we have a stub then for them.
Stub ready to,
Stub is
for them
ready.
to
Yeah.
connect.
It's just, oh yeah, this list accounts for the actual houses that are connected. That's the difference. So the yard line isn't done because there's no service to connect to, but the service connection is ready for them.
Ready
If that
for
makes
them to
sense.
connect.
Yes.
So on 18 and 19, is that the same residence? And there's 2 connections there?
18, 19. There are two
1607 Green Road and 1607 Green Road?
yeah, 2 different homes. So, because they have the 2 different addresses.
I'm sorry?
They have the 2 different addresses, so there's 2 different homes, yes.
Oh, that's right. 03 and 07. I hadn't seen 03 and 07. Sorry.
No problem. No, some of these houses also had or lots had multiple houses too, so. It was
Yeah, I hadn't seen
one
it
of
as
the
07 and 03. That's right. All right, thanks.
Okay, moving on to B, SH 495 Veterans Boulevard Utility Relocation and Adjustments Project.
Yes, so for the CH 495 utility relocation and adjustments projects, we're still progressing through the comments from TxDOT. We met with them last week to go over the traffic control plan, which is the biggest hurdle we currently have. And we met with them on some other minor details regarding placements of meters, cleanouts, things of that nature. So we're progressing through it. Right at this point, the timeline is to finish at the end of this month, addressing through their comments. Is there any questions on this project?
Any questions? No?
Is it coming along okay?
Yeah, it's coming along okay.
Timeline's okay?
Timeline's okay.
Perfect. Okay, moving on to C, short-term water plan and CIP update.
Yes, so for the short-term water plan, the CIP update, we've continued preparing the report, and we did receive the information or water data from AGUA Sud's end, or from the staff. And so now we're kind of organizing all that to the charts and tables that are reflected on the report. Anticipating is to finish this for the end of this month. And from there, we'll kind of kick off into the whole process for amending the CIP as needed. Any questions?
Any questions? Okay, moving on to D, alternative capacity requirement, ACR.
Yes, so for the ACR, as mentioned previously, or in the last couple board meetings, this is going hand in hand with the short-term plan. So we've kind of started going through the same motion of evaluating the data provided, and for now, it's kind of the steps we're progressing with.
They wanna move it where?
The ACR?
Lower it or?
Lower it, but with a balance of not getting too low, kind of in the medium.
To what?
It depends on how the data reflects pretty much. So it'll be, once we evaluate the data, we'll see what that number's at and kind of see what fluff we give, either up or less.
Yeah, because we have a capacity of what, 8,000 meters, or what was it, 80%,
We were at the capacity with the current ACR that we have, we were at 96% capacity. Based on previous CIP and studies that have been done, that number, the ACR can be lower, meaning that we will gain more
More
meters in quotes. We'll get more connections based on the reduced ACR, if allowable by the data that we are
By the
that we
pressure.
have.
Yeah.
By the data that we have, yes.
It'll likely be somewhere in the range between the current 96 and 85.
So
More than likely,
based on the
it'll be in
ratio,
that
we'll
range.
probably be looking at maybe between 0.45 and 0.49.
the way it is right now, it's just being conservative, right? We lower it so low that we're gonna have a lot of meters, and then we're gonna be
Right,
in trouble.
right.
And that's the balance I was mentioning, to make sure we don't go too low.
1
but
point,
depending on the data.
or 1, or half a point, or how much you thinking of moving?
It depends on the data that SAMS is acquiring, but we'll present that before.
Yeah, we haven't evaluated all the data to figure out what it is. So once we look at the data, we'll come back
pressure tests all over the district, or to
Well-
figure that out, or?
No, in the short-term water plan, we're trying to address, any, low-pressure areas, so we can make those improvements first.
Mhm.
And it'll facilitate basically moving water west.
And what about our plants? I know we have two ancient water plants, already just one that's about 15 years old and one at the back. Are there any concern on those water plants that they're aging, they're
Well,
old?
on the CIP project, we've had the new water plant, as part of a strategic project for a few years. And we also have the Havana plant, expansion, as a CIP project to improve in the next few years.
Do we need to do that first before we go in higher?
I mean, one of the discussions that we're having, is the interconnect with McAllen, which will help with any sort of.
Yeah, but it will help on the east, but not over here with
Well,
the.
that's why we wanna go ahead and make sure that we have connections to the west on any areas that have a problem with, low pressure or not being able to move the water to the
Yeah,
west.
because West is not waiting for us. They're moving. I mean.
Yeah.
And what it is, if we don't produce water or the pressure, they're gonna be calling
So as
the
far as-
elected officials, and we're gonna be,
So as far as the short-term water plan
Mhm.
and the CIP, so when we look at the whole system, one of the major areas that we've had over the last couple of years is number one, volume, and then number two, pressure, or vice versa. First pressure and then volume. So if we address the pressure areas first by making water connections to those pressure areas, then we eliminate a portion of the problem, which is pressure. And that leads us to number two, which is volume, which basically means either water wells, improving the plants, adding capacity to Havana, or making the new water plants. That is number two, to add volume so we can support more connections.
would it work on a lift station, not a lift station, a booster?
A booster.
Like, here at the beginning of Peñitas
We
to
have
boost
various
water
boosters.
west?
We have various boosters all the way around, but getting the water to the boosters or the water lines in between is what gives us a little bit of a problem. So again, in the short-term water plan, we're gonna do step one, step two, step three, step four. To make sure that we have volume and pressure to where the district is from.
Yeah, because all of this takes 3 years, to do,
Yeah.
or 4 years, and we don't wanna give the water, okay, we're gonna give a lot of meters and then,
No, well, the plan is in the next, the discussion that we've had with Robert is in the next 5 years, do small improvements so that we can be ready when the plant is there, the new plant. So if the new water plant, the north water plant is gonna take 5 years to start construction, or 5 years to be done, and it's gonna be 2 years of engineering and another 2 or 3 years of construction, the short-term water plan is to get us,
Be ready for that one.
to a good place within the next 5 years that we don't have issues with pressure or volume. And at the same time, once you have a new water plant, then we can support anywhere where there's pressure or volume problems.
new water plant or brackish water, what.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, even the interconnect with McAllen can help that.
Okay, I'm just,
Yeah.
once
I
we
think
give,
We're formalizing a plan to be able to span this next 5 years so that we are ready and don't have any issues between now and the new plan.
yeah.
And I think those are things that are great, and great predictions and all that. How does that translate in terms of the water meter? Everybody's asking the water meters are too expensive. How would all that would translate in terms of the water meter that is a little bit less than what they're right now? Is that any impact on that one? Because that's a question that everybody
Yeah,
asks.
that's.
Why are the water meters so
And
expensive?
that's a very good question. That basically, goes hand in hand with the
Sure.
CIP and the projects that we have. And that is why we have that cost, per, LUE on the impact fees. And of course, the water rights. So everything goes hand in hand, and as a matter of fact, we do need more development. We do need more of that impact fee,
To lower the meters.
so that we can construct those projects that are needed by the district, so that we can at one point start lowering those impact fees in the future.
There's a curve of,
Sure, the bell curve.
Yeah, you need $80 million worth of projects right now. So you need a way to pay for those 80 million or 60, whatever it is in the CIP right now. So be able to pay it one way or the other, or not do the projects. And so there's I don't know, remember what the curve is called, but the need and the expense meet at some point.
Yeah.
And then once the project is, or the district within the current CCN is mature or has enough infrastructure in place, then you don't need $80 million anymore. You might need 50 or 30 or 20 on a regular basis, and that's when the impact fee can go down.
Which is water meters.
Kind of, to a certain extent, the explanation for why is it so high now is in large part because it was so low previously. It's just math. The district still needs that infrastructure.
So it was what, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when they were very low? Or?
2,500, that's it, 4 years ago?
Yeah, it was,
No, it was lower than that.
well,
17.
it went from about 2,700 down to 150, and then it was moved up to I think 800. But that 800, to the extent that it was moved up from 150 to 800, the district just changed its water rights charge, and so.
So any formula, any ACR did not make an impact on that to 150?
No, yeah.
The ACR is just capacity.
It's separate.
Capacity,
Sure.
capacity, not.
Yeah.
But everything that involved behind it in terms of making that impact fees to get it to 150.
You could say the difference between, well, the easy way to look at and consider impact fees, right, is when you have a capital improvements plan, part of that is calculating your maximum allowable impact fee. And that's basically saying for every new LUE that comes online that we provide water, this is how much it costs the district. And you can charge up to the maximum of that, underlying. Whereas, and so any amount that you charge under that then is you gotta come up with that difference somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah.
Per LUE. Now, what the ACR does though is it's just a calculation that is an assumption of per LUE water usage. And so you take your maximum flow or maximum capacity and then divide that by the number of LUEs on your assumed water usage. And so we've been operating, I think since, has it 2014 or 2012?
The last time was 2012, yeah.
2012, sorry.
Yeah,
Since 2012, we've operated off of the same ACR assumption. It looks like just a back of the napkin that is we're operating off a very conservative assumption of that, but they're looking at the data to determine, how conservative of
Sure.
an assumption that is.
You're gonna be coming back with his numbers. Right?
That's right.
correct, yeah, we're gonna bring you a high and a low. This is what the most conservative can be, and this is the least conservative, and then we'll have to make a decision and make sure that we apply for whatever it is that we want to apply.
Ultimately, the board will determine what you all are comfortable with in setting that, or not changing it at all.
Yeah. It's a study at this point.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Moving on to E, Geographic Information System, GIS Services Phase 2.
Yes, for the GIS Services Phase 2, we continue with the subdivision mapping, so we mapped out 4 other subdivisions, there being the ones that are listed. At this point, we have about, I think, 5 more subdivisions to go, and then some sewer or towards the Sullivan area. So at this point, we're roughly 51% complete with it, and anticipate to finish by August. Is there any questions with this one?
Any questions, Joe?
No.
No? Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you.
Okay, item number 4, discussion and possible action authorizing the general manager to execute an amended interlocal agreement between City of Peñitas and AGUA Special Utility District for coordination of diamond infrastructure expansion and related water infrastructure.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board. Just as a summary, this item entails the project that is ongoing with the City of Peñitas. As we all know, I know that we have been part of several committee meetings as far as the water infrastructure goes. There are several agreements between the developer and the City of Peñitas called the 380 agreements and the
Party agreement.
party agreement between them, that it all encompasses into water, special utility district, signing upfront on those particular subdivisions without the water infrastructure being completed, because the city is undertaking the task of managing the actual infrastructure that is gonna take place in that certain subdivisions. I don't know if you
Yep.
can expand on that, Attorney.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, so as the board will recall, the district has already entered into an interlocal with the City of Peñitas regarding the Diamond infrastructure expansion. As a result of the various meetings that we've had with the city and the developers, it's as the developers and the city have updated and improved their plans and agreements amongst themselves, it's become necessary to amend our interlocal. The city has entered into 380 agreements with each of the developers, and the developers have entered into a tri-party agreement amongst just themselves as to contribution amounts and reimbursement mechanisms for the developers' obligations to pay for the water infrastructure in the overall project. Previously, the district and the city had agreed that the district would approve those non-standard service agreements with the developers upon application for them, require them to sign pro rata reimbursement agreements that essentially guaranteed that the pro rata reimbursement fees would be remitted to the city as the recipient because of the arrangement that the city and the developers were going to have. They have now changed how that reimbursement is going to occur. My understanding is via the 380 agreements, there will be available reimbursement through potentially the TERS or from the city's general funds. Regardless, all parties appear to be, or the developers and the city appear to be in agreement that the district will not seek to collect, charge, or remit pro rata reimbursement fees, basically eliminating the district's need to keep track of or handle any kind of, collection or remittance of that infrastructure cost. And so what this amended interlocal agreement will do is to essentially make that change to where the district will agree to the non-standard service agreements, but include in the non-standard service agreements express disclaimers of the developers to any right to collect pro rata reimbursement from the district, and that the district will not charge or collect or remit to them or anyone else pro rata fees relating to this infrastructure. And that is essentially the core of what this amended interlocal agreement does. It amends that agreement, that interlocal, and replaces it with the terms reflecting the 380 agreements and the tri-party agreement.
For this particular development?
Just for the Diamond expansion or Diamond infrastructure expansion development as is attached as we have the exhibit. Yes, relating solely to the infrastructure on the exhibit A to the interlocal.
So there's three, how many 380 agreements are there, 3 or 4?
Yeah, there will be ultimately 3 non-standard service agreements that are qualified for this project.
3.
That's right. And that is the 3 parties that have 380 agreements with the city, and the 3 parties to their tri-party agreement.
But in the development, there's more spaces, are there, or how many?
No,
Yeah.
That's
Well-
it?
Well, each development has different lots, commercial lots.
But in this particular development, there's more than 3, or is there?
See, lo que pasa es, it's gonna be like a whole, like a
Sure.
block.
they will likely subdivide at some point,
Okay.
but currently all the infrastructure will be handled by those 3 developers.
Okay.
Okay, need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. De Hoyos, a second by Mr. Rick Pettis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to SSI Peñitas Village Number 3 LLC for the cost related to water and service for St. Ives Phase 2 subdivision, subject to execution of interlocal agreement with the City of Peñitas.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, of course, we have Sam's, our district engineer, that will go over this item, the actual subdivision, but again, just to reiterate again, and to make a note that this subdivision or NSSA will be subject to the execution of the previous, or it's already executed, of the interlocal agreement with the City of Peñitas as part of the NSSA.
Okay?
Mr. President, members of the board, so for the St. Ives subdivision, we're looking at a subdivision located in the City of Peñitas, roughly 10 acres consisting of 5 commercial lots. Water model has been run for this project and it does pass for all 3 requirements of average flow, peak flow, and fire flow. At this point, we recommend approval.
Sorry, before action's taken, just for clarification, just want to point out, there were some last minute adjustments to the LUE calculations, I believe.
Yes.
So what we have in the packet is going to be replaced with the most updated calculations. And could you just briefly describe those calculations?
Yes, so from these new calculations for the report that's dated for today, we're at a total of 17.5 LUEs, as opposed to what's currently on the report. And among that, just a couple of other changes: average water demand going up to 20.4, and peak water demand of 68. But aside from that, the other changes being they reduced water meter sizes for the first 3 lots. Instead of 2-inch meters, they're doing 1-inch meters. Aside from that, there's no other changes.
Okay. I need a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Ricardo Pettis,
Second.
second by Mr. Jerry Pettis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, discussion and possible action on a non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to Peñitas Crossing LLC for the costs related to water and service for Peñitas Crossing subdivision, subject to an execution of interlocal agreement with City of Peñitas. I would like to have a motion to table this.
To take no action?
Yeah, take no action.
Take no action?
Yep.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. De Hoyos, a second by Mr. Rick Pettis. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, number 7, discussion and possible action on approval of the water service mainline contribution agreement with Peña Chapa Development Incorporated, Real Solutions LP, and Los Mesquites Ranch Development LLC.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board. This item, we had previously brought this item before you, members of the board. The change that we have on this water service water line main contribution agreement is the name change from 3F Ranch LLC to Los Mesquites Ranch Development. So that was an ownership name change. Again, if you recall, this is again for the Era Monte subdivision, Volcano, and Salida del Sol, number 8. Those 3 developers. We had already went through the actual interlocal agreement and noting, of course, the actual line that will be constructed on 3 Mile line that we had already approved, and of course that we have already bids for that. So basically, technically, this is just a name change on the ownership of one of the subdivisions from 3F Ranch LLC to Los Mesquites Ranch, which is for Salida del Sol.
Okay, I need a motion.
I so move.
I have a motion by Mr. Jerry Pettis,
Second.
a second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, Discussion and possible action on non-standard service agreement for water to be submitted to Los Mesquites Ranch Development LLC for the costs related to water and service for Salida del Sol number 8, Phase 1 subdivision.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, we have, of course, Sam's here with us to go over this agenda item, the NSSA, but just to reflect again that this was part of the name change as well from ownership of the.
Yes. Mr. President, members of the board, so as Robert mentioned, this SR was previously presented to you all about 2 months ago. Main change here just being, as you mentioned, the change of ownership, or the names of the ownership. So just to reiterate, this is a subdivision in Peñitas. This is an 18-acre subdivision being divided into 102 single-family lots. Water model has been passed, or has been run and passed as with the offset improvements we previously discussed, being the water line connection along 3 Mile from Volcano to, let me remember the exact road. From Volcano to Texan. And so at this point we recommend approval.
Okay. I need a motion.
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Rick Bettis,
Second.
second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Number 9, discussion and possible action authorizing general manager to advertise for competitive bids on purchase of water treatment chemicals, including chlorine gas and chlorine dioxide, sodium chlorite.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, we have current contracts with PBS DX Inc., and this is for the chlorine gas, and also with Evoqua Water Technologies, and this is for the sodium chloride solution. We're looking to seek bids again. The current contract will expire here in September, early September. So we would like to have enough time to solicit for bids and get quotes and bring them back to the board to present.
That's a move.
Second. I have a motion by Mr. Jerry Pettis, a second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 10, discussion and possible action authorizing general manager to solicit competitive bids for the Liberty Road Water Line Improvement Project Phase 2.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, again, of course, we would like to solicit for competitive bids for this construction project. This is a relocation of a 12-inch water line. We're looking at 4,200 linear feet. We have an approximate engineering cost of $535,000 to relocate this line. The plans and specifications should be ready within a week. So we're asking the board to give us authorization to solicit for bids. The plans will be ready within a week so that we can go ahead and solicit and not have to wait for the following board meeting.
How many feet is that? What did you
Feet,
say?
4,200 of 12-inch water line.
Linear,
Linear feet, yes, sir.
And this because of the road expansion, right?
This is because of the roadway expansion between 3 Mile Line and 7 Mile Line with TxDOT and the county
On Liberty.
on Liberty Road, yes, sir.
Okay,
We have to relocate that section of lane.
it's an answer, cause since it's text that, no agarramos algo de ellos.
It's on, no, we're on right away on that segment. We do
So-
not have the line
You had it right away, you're gonna move it again to another right away?
we're gonna have to move it to the right of way line. We're looking at.
So where's that right now?
Right now, it's gonna be on just, for the future, on the future proposed alignment will be about center, close to center, and it'll meander throughout the existing line. So we have to move it to the new, right-of-way, line, a 5-foot alignment from the west right-of-way line. That's what we're looking at coordinating with
We'll have to
TxDOT.
move it. I still move.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Jerry Pettis, a second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 11, discussion and possible action authorizing general manager to solicit requests for qualifications on a rotational basis for geotechnical and materials testing, land surveying, and engineering services.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, as we do every 2 years, we go out for bids, to have, qualify geotechnical engineers, and of course to do material testing on our subdivision, land surveying and engineering services for any services or project that we may come about of need. So we would like to redo this project again, which is the solicitation for qualification, and this is going to be for 2 years.
Okay.
That's a-
I got a question. On a rotating basis, is there like a list where, okay, we just hire this one, or we would go with the cheapest ones?
We will
Or
go with the list. The cost associated is not upfront through the qualification. First, we look at the qualifications, then we have a certain project, then we'll get to negotiate with the engineer on that basis.
So even though it's a rotating basis,
It's-
not
it-
necessarily they're gonna get called into that rotation?
Yes, it's not based on a low bid basis. It's based on expertise of that certain project that we have ongoing as well. But they're pre-qualified.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Jerry Pettis,
Second.
a second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 12, discussion and possible action on award of bids for the electrical repair and maintenance services or resolicit for competitive bids for the electrical repair and maintenance services.
Yes, sir, Mr.
Read that
President,
right.
members of the board, on the attached, we received bids, 2 bid responses. We have the attached bid tabulation. We received 2 bid responses, one from J&E Lift Station Services and another one from Hill Tech Electric. And you can see the differences between regular rates, emergency rates, and also the option term percentage for an additional year, and the markup, either, of course, going up on the parts and materials as far as the purchases. So if we can look at J&E Lift Station, just a comparable on the regular rates, we're looking at J&E $35 and Hill Tech Electric 24. And on the emergency rates, and this is for the electrician, the licensed electrician, and for the emergency rates, we're looking at J&E Lift Stations at $53 per hour and Hill Tech at $125 per hour, and that's on an emergency basis for electrician. And on the materials and parts, we're looking at J&E Lift Stations at 20% markup, and we're looking for Hill Tech Electric at 35% markup. So on the extension for an additional year, we have Hill Tech at 25% and J&E Electric at 0%. So there's a lot of variation on these 2 bidders. We would like to request the board to resolicit for bids and look at the qualifications and the request more closely, to look at probably a checklist that has the expertise of what each individual electrician does, specifically, for example, for water plants, booster stations, electrical components, and also for office use as well, electricians. So there's difference of an expertise of that. So we would like to include some of that as a checklist, so that we can have the differences and know the differences of the cost. Why that differences in cost.
I guess you're looking for commercial industry, commercialized industrial versus
Yes.
the industrial side of it too.
Yes, for anything that we need, specifically on emergency
Yeah.
basis.
But on the industrial side, it's just not any commercial electrician, it has to be an industrialized electricity company that can do that.
Yes,
So go work on your lift station, go work on that.
and probably, I mean, just to make it more of a solid request to the vendors, include sort of an experience summary of what they have worked in the past, so that we can have that aspect of the qualifications, so that when we call them, we know that this person will be doing the job as per needed.
Because if you have somebody that does your industrial over there, will that person come and check some of the lighting here?
Yeah, that's why we have a list. We can say, okay, this electrician focuses more on the commercial and residential side. We can call them to for this type of scenarios, not specifically for the water and sewer plants. So we would like to resolicit.
Make a motion.
For bids on this.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. De Hoyos, Oh,
Jerry.
by Mr.
Second,
Jerry
Tyler.
Pettis, and a
That's
second
all
by,
right.
and a second by Mr. De
We
Hoyos.
both have a mustache.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 13, discussion and possible action on approval to extend the agreement with Carr, Riggs, and Ingram for auditing services for a second additional 2-year term.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board. So the existing contract, it's expired, right? However, through the existing agreements that we have and the solicitation that we did, was it 4 years ago, we have a second additional 2-year extension. Carr and Riggs and Ingram have done a good job for the district. They are, I guess, top auditors on us, and we would like to continue with their service if, of course, if the board permits for us to continue with them. And they're keeping, part of, if I'm mistaken, the same pricing. I know that we received
So-
an email just on Friday, and they're looking at 52,500 plus 5,500 if there's a major program required for them to audit. So basically, they're keeping the same pricing.
Same pricing, only difference you have is in a major program, because major program means when we get the federal grant, and if the federal grant is $1 million or more, there is a single audit that have to do additional testing by the federal requirements, and that's called major programs. So for major program, they will charge $5,500. We don't know yet if we're gonna hit the 1 million. So if we don't hit $1 million, then we will not have to pay that amount because it was not triggered in single audit. For example, last year, 2024, we did hit that mark, so we had a single audit. 2023, we did not have single audit. So if you discount the major program, the price is same, 52,000, and a major program is 5,500. So we are looking at around 58,000 in total. If the one difference that I do want to say is before federal government had a major grant at $750,000, which means if we get more than $750,000 of the federal grant, we are subject to audit. The administration now changed it to 1 million. So we're only gonna get a single audit, or in other words, we only have to pay for that if we get a grant of 1 million. For the bar, the sewer hookup grant that we get from NetBank, that does count as a federal grant. So in ballpark, except the major program, we are in the same price range with the auditors.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So move.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Rick Pettis, a second by Mr. Jerry Pettis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 14, discussion and possible action to approve an interlocal agreement with the City of Mission regarding temporary sewer services for Bella Vista subdivisions lots 1 and 2.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board. So this request came in, again, for Bella Vista subdivision. This is located in the vicinity of 495 and Moorfield Road. So what essentially this agreement does, and the district has done it in the past, is for them to connect to the sanitary sewer of Mission, even though it's our CCN for sanitary sewer, and us doing the billing for them. So basically, we use the same agreements that we have used in the past, and the sewer will be connecting to the City of Mission until we get our system active and then reconnect back to us. But in the meantime, we'll be charging for the City of Mission on the sanitary sewer for this lots.
And that's why there's a warranty deed in here, right?
The warranty deed?
That's why it's in here, the warranty deed.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they are the owners.
That's a move.
Okay? I have a motion by Mr. Jerry Pettis, a second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 15, discussion and possible action on authorizing general manager to execute an advance funding agreement with TxDOT for the TxDOT Veterans FM 495 widening project.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, this AFA, it's in process. They have submitted it for our signature. However, our legal counsel had a question in one of the items that does not pertain to our particular district. which is the, if you can help me with that, during the
Indemnification,
indemnification,
yes.
which we're just waiting. Okay, so we're looking at number 6.
Yes.
Number 6, that's page 2 of the AFA. If you can look at number 6, that's the responsibility of the parties and identify. So,
Yes, so just to briefly summarize, under the Texas Constitution, governmental entities like the district cannot assume impermissible debt, and that is debt that could be, that could potentially be paid out of funds not received through this budget year. And indemnification provisions like this have been considered impermissible debt in interpretation. And so we just asked them, which they know, I mean, this is their template agreement, so they send this to everyone, but as a governmental entity, we asked them to strike the indemnification language. They have not responded that they're doing so we don't have the final agreement with them yet, but pending their response and changes, so that we don't need to bring it back to the board, we're asking
Is
for
it a deal breaker or what?
authorization.
no.
It is, I
didn't
could
sign it?
see it, the provision says to the extent permitted by law, and we would argue, well, it's not permitted by law. We would prefer it to be completely removed so that there's no potential for later discussion about the extent permitted by law.
But text-out attorneys should know that, right?
That's right.
All right, so move.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. J. Pettis, a second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 16, discussion and possible action authorizing general manager to negotiate and execute license for electric utility crossing to AEP within Volcano subdivision pursuant to request by Juan Jose Garcia.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board. So on the attachment, we have, of course, a letter of request from Volcano subdivision. And what is essentially happening on this subdivision, there's several electrical utility lines that will be crossing our easement. So in essence, this license for electrical utility crossings is being requested, of course, by AEP through the developer in order for the electrical company to do their crossings and crossing our utility lines. On the attachment, and again, Volcano, as we all know, it's on 3 Mile line just east of Liberty Road. And as you can see on the attachment, there's an exhibit that shows the different crossings that we have, that they're gonna be having. We're looking at 10 utility crossings that will be crossing our infrastructure perpendicular. So, I recommend.
Yeah. And just on this, we do recommend approval of it subject to, the reason we have negotiate and execute is there are some finer details of the license that we still need to negotiate with them to have parity. It has language in there that the license, that our activities will not interfere with their use. We want to make sure that we have provisions in there that they won't interfere with our use of the lines.
Yeah, but that's very common with all these lights that.
Yeah, so we'll get that included in there in the final executed copy.
And I believe AEP is getting more technical about the perpendicular crossings because they used to do them before without license, without asking for a license. Now they want everything, I guess, documented as far as the crossings.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Rick Pettis, a second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes.
So the subdivision makes a request via AEPs. That's the way it works, right?
Yeah, so the developer or the engineer or the owner presents the subdivision to AEP. So AEP comes back with, of course, red lines. This is where we're gonna cross. This is gonna be our line, and this is what we need. So in essence, they'll be crossing our utility line. So that's what they're asking for this type of license license permit, which probably will start becoming more
Yeah,
common.
we'll likely see this in a lot more.
Sure.
Okay. Item 17, discussion and possible action on request from Olmedo Investments LLC to abandon the easement for Olmedo subdivision lot 1.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board. This subdivision was approved in 2023, about approximately 2 years ago. And this subdivision, again, it's on 5 Mile line between Benson and Minnesota. So what and again, we're going back to AEP. AEP is requesting the use of our easement, but not on a perpendicular way, on a parallel. On a parallel usage, not on a perpendicular usage, meaning that they need to have a easement. Now, going back through our subdivision process, we did request easements for this subdivision is encompassed of 3 lots, right? We did request easements for all 3 lots, right? In essence, there's requests, we don't have any issues with this request to abandon that easement because we have sufficient easements in the adjacent lots to run the water line needed for the southmost, if we can call it, 3rd lot that we have. So on this particular request from this developer, we do not have any objections on this. I don't know if we need to draft anything for this, Darren, or it's just as far as the cost, there's certain costs that we need to inquire because of the filing of such abandonment as well.
Yeah, well, we can approve the release, the abandonment of the easement, subject to, them assuming the costs.
Assuming they pay for the
filing fees and-
rebooking fee or
That's right.
For the
Yeah.
filing and
This is
survey.
5 Mile line in what, in Dalton?
6 months.
Between Minnesota and Benson.
Yeah, it'll essentially be an abandonment or release of easement, and they'll
What
just
mile
need
line you said?
5 Mile
cover
line.
the expenses.
Okay,
So move.
have a motion by Mr. Doyle's,
Second.
second by Mr. Jared Pettis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 18, discussion and possible action on the adoption of a cybersecurity policy.
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, as you may recall, we entered into an agreement with the Water Development Board through their CFO to Go program. Basically, was an alternate, I'm gonna call it alternate audit to our financing and our the way we run, things here in AGUA Special Utility District. So they had improvement points, recommendation, and one of them was for us to have cyber security policy, which is attached. We developed the attached through our IT and administration and of course our legal that we have. So basically, our cybersecurity policy outlines our guidelines and provisions for preserving the security of our data and technology infrastructure. So the more that we rely, of course, on technology to collect, store, and manage information, the more vulnerable we become to severe security breaches, human errors, hackers, attacks, and system malfunctions that could cause great financial damage and may jeopardize our reputation. And then, of course, for this reason, we have implemented a number of security measures which are outlined in this cybersecurity policy. We have also prepared instructions that may help mitigate security risks, and also we have outlined both provisions in this policy. So basically, we have this policy that we would like to adopt, approve, and make it part of our
Employee
guidelines
handbook.
implementation.
Yeah.
I realize this is a policy. What about our infrastructure as far as hardware and firewall, things like that? Does that pretty much, considering what's been happening in the history of other areas and some of the news,
Yes.
do we have the best of the best in terms of the firewalls and infrastructure as far as software to prevent any type of hacking like this?
We do have software, and we have a full-time IT personnel that it's keeping up with all the updates necessary and the firewalls and checking on a daily basis, of course, that we don't get any type of virus or hack attacks into our system.
So I guess I didn't read this as a policy, but this means that all the employees will be trained to this phishing, what they call the phishing, that kind of,
Yes, he generally meets with the supervisors to implement the cybersecurity, this
Yeah.
newly cybersecurity policy. So this is where we're starting, and hopefully we don't. There's I'm gonna probably half of the employees, maybe 30 employees, have access to the internet on a daily basis.
Okay.
So
we're good, being proactive. Make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Jerry Pettis, second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 19, discussion and possible action on approval of supplemental pay for AGUA site employees.
That's a move. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Jerry Pettis, second by Mr. Rick Pettis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 20, discussion and possible action to authorize general manager to purchase a dump truck through Buy Board Co-op.
That's a move.
I have a motion by Mr. Jerry Pettis.
Second.
I have a second by Mr. De Hoyos. All those in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes. Item number 21, discussion and possible action on the appointment or solicitation of applicants for appointment to fill vacancy of the director position for District 2. I would like to make a nomination, Mr. Alex Moreno, subject to completing all required prerequisites, required by the entity.
Second.
Mr. Moreno's gonna come
May I have
before our meeting, or,
Yeah.
And then so we have a motion,
Yes,
second,
second.
and then.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Congratulations.
All right. Item 22, discussion and possible action authorizing general manager to negotiate draft CCN transfer agreement with the city of La Jolla.
yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board, we would like to take this into executive, Terry?
Yeah, I recommend that we take this into executive, just so we can fully talk about the, legal aspects of it.
So move.
Okay. I have a motion by Mr. Doyles, a second by Mr. Jerry Pettis. All those in favor? Any opposed? We're taking it into executive. Okay. Item 23, executive session. As provided by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Sections 551.071-551.091, the Board of Directors may convene in a closed executive session to deliberate, discuss, or consult regarding the matters listed below on the proper motion and approval of any items set forth above under the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. A, TWDB Palmview Sanitary Sewer Improvements Project. B, System Capacity. C, Application for CCN Amendment. D, Senate Bill 1933, as well as item 22, discussion of possible action authorizing general manager to negotiate draft CCN transfer agreement with the city of La Jolla. I need a motion. I have a motion by Mr. Doyles,
Second.
second by Mr. Jerry Pettis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We're now going into executive at 7:13.